I might sound jolly, but I'm not happy, girl, because it has been a devastating race Sunday for me. Why would these people? I don't have access to data. I look mad. I am actually very mad because I'm like, these people have access to data. Like, it's Mercedes. Like, come on. Like, why are you masquerading as 8 times constructors champion? Like, I feel like this time you're just duping me.
Through goes Hamilton! You can hear the cheers from Monza!
The mics are on and off we go.
Hi guys, my name is Winnie and welcome to the Wheel Spin Podcast, the home of Formula One content and everything motorsport. I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, night. I hope you've been doing well. Welcome to our Singapore Grand Prix race debrief. I mean, don't you love Singapore? It's so beautiful under the lights. It was the first night race in Formula One back in 2008. And you have to applaud like how much Formula One has continuously, improved and added things everywhere. And I hope it comes to Africa finally. I hope it makes a return to Africa finally. But you have to, I do love Singapore. I think it's beautiful under the lights. And I know you're asking, I have an interesting stats because I always have stats. So the track itself, the Marina Bay Street Circuit, which holds the Singapore Grand Prix, is illuminated by 1,600 specially made floodlights. That's how, and those lights have backup. And so I don't think even though one went off, the track wouldn't become dark. That's interesting. Anyway, Singapore is interesting. There's the lizards. That was cute. Did you guys catch the lizards? If you watch practice, you would have seen the monitor lizards, which are a protected species in Singapore. So I think it's like the laws, it's in the regulations that they say you're not supposed, the cars can run over them, and they're massive. So that's always a cute detail about Singapore as well. So we were in Singapore, home of the crash gate. I know I will get into that detail further on in the episode. I have very interesting things to actually, I've been researching more about Crashgate and I have interesting findings. I have an interesting take about that 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. Anyway, let's kick off. I'm not happy. I might sound jolly, but I'm not happy, girl, because it has been a devastating race Sunday for me. Because, guys, my driver, Lewis Hamilton. I support Lewis Hamilton through and through. He does the driving, I do the hating. And today, my victim happens to be Mercedes Petronas AMG F1 team. Because tell me why Lewis Hamilton, like the car, Saturday, they didn't look very competitive. But Lewis somehow just, I don't know where he got this time. Like, he qualified very high up, P3. And that was exciting. That was the first time I have seen Lewis in a long time smile like that. Like that Lewis Hamilton, the one who was winning Grand Prix and everything. He was looking so happy on Saturday after qualifying P3, and then you come on Sunday. Tell me why from the word go, you already are on a strategy that you will go backwards on. Because I want to start, why would Mercedes, this is what happened with Mercedes. They put Lewis Hamilton on the soft tire. Remember, Pirelli brought the softest range of tires this weekend. And they put Lewis on that soft component for the start of the race. The thing is with the different types of tires, the harder it is, the more durable. So the C5, which is the hard tire, is the most durable. And then the medium is, yes. And then the soft won't, and durable, it will take you for a longer time. The soft, that means you're mounting it. You want to have better traction off the line because the softer compound takes less time to heat up and grip into the tarmac. So that means you get a better lounge over the line. So most of the time you put on the soft to take advantage of, and overtake very early on because you'll need to pit earlier than the people around you. And you see a lot of in fact, I never expected it. I was not expecting it because, you look at the race strategies that I expected for this race. You're like, okay, of course it's a one-stopper makes more sense. And you see people, it's either like a medium hard, you think that's the tires they're going to be on. Of course, I didn't think Mercedes, especially them being very high up there, P3, they would gamble to go there. But initially I was like, okay, interesting. But for one, Lewis didn't have a new set. It was not new. It was actually scrapped. That's the thing I was actually more livid about. I was like, why would you? He already, like all the top runners, in fact, they all had the same tires. There was no big variation like with the tires. And what I mean is that after running practice, qualifying, they all had similar like tires available for them. Everyone of the top runners, at least the top 5, top 8, they all had like one new medium and one new hard. So that is why I was like, oh, why is Lewis? Okay, initially I was like, okay, this is exciting. But then after a while, I'm like, why is he the only one there? Like the only other person who was starting on soft, I think, is Daniel Ricciardo, just someone down there. I was like, okay. And then Lewis was supposed, so I think this is what they had in mind. And this is what Mercedes have come out and said to Wolf there and Andrew Shovley. They've come and said they thought they would get a good advantage off the line. That was never going to happen. I'm like, why would these people, I mean, I don't have access to data. I look mad. I am actually very mad because I'm like, these people have access to data. Like it's Mercedes. Like, come on. Like why are you masquerading as 8 times constructors champions? Like, I feel like this time you're just duping me. But otherwise, then I will just, that's why we will say it's giving sabotage, because there's no way you can be operating on this. Like you're making decisions based off of no data. Like you're just doing vibes and inshallah on Lewis Hamilton. Please no. And that's why it's just giving, there's no way like a whole team was like, no, we thought, no, you have to have hard proof. Like this was gonna work. Like I don't understand it. Like what in? I would really want to know what in fact was it. Just like, I mean, you're like, okay, let's offset it. Track position in Singapore is very important because overtaking is hard. It's not impossible. This is not Monaco, so overtaking in Singapore is still possible. I still don't understand. I've listened to of course they have released a very PR message. And I don't get anything from that. I just wanted to know what was the reasoning. I mean, of course, they wanted to like, okay, maybe for overtake Verstappen from the start. But that can be the only reason. I feel like there were so many other ways of doing this. There was undercut, overcutting a driver. I just felt like that was too much of a gamble for like a P3. And knowing very well that Mercedes you had not had your issues sorted out. Even during qualifying, there were times they were struggling, and it's only that lap. I don't know where Lewis got that last lap from that propped him up to P3. So even though I'm trying to make a case for you, there is no case to make. I don't get it. Where is the data? Mercedes, I know they don't normally do their debriefs, and I will wait for their debriefs. I will go and listen, and I'll do like probably like you'll get a clip on our socials to just see what was the data, what was the reasoning, what apart from just wanting to. And which is also like just a probability because you're not so sure it will happen if you'll overtake Max, for example, the driver ahead of you. I just wanted to know the reasoning. And you see why now I'm saying I'm not a happy person, because Lewis went backwards. Everyone else was going ahead. Like no one else was going backwards. Just Lewis, among the top runners, he lost positions. He started P3, finishing P6. And that's not very good. It's not giving that, it's not giving Mercedes 8 times world champion, constructors champion. It's not giving that. It's giving sabotage 100%, and I'm not happy about it. I cannot believe this is how I cannot understand like this is how Mercedes really wants to end their partnership, their iconic partnership with Lewis Hamilton. It's rather heartbreaking. It's concerning, and it's not looking very good. And it's not a good look. I don't know who's making the decisions. I know it's Toto Wolff. I know he's making but I don't think it's looking very good for Mercedes right now. And it doesn't reflect. It doesn't. We will not forget, because this is you're making very many errors, and especially when it comes to Lewis's, setups and races, it's just not giving. Please. It's just 6 more races, and then you won't have to deal with him anymore if you don't want to deal with him. Like, he still has fans, he's still our driver. Please treat him as such. Treat him with respect, and don't let him carry so many experiments on his car, and don't experiment and gamble with his strategies. Use data. Back. Mercedes, please. If I catch you. Anyway. Guys, this race was also like, this was a fun week. Like, did anything okay from practice? I've said practice. I think the only thing that I was really happy to see was the monitor lizards. There was even a graphic made by F1 TV of the monitor lizards. Like, oh my god, those just running. They're so cute. I don't like lizards. I wouldn't want it. Like, I wouldn't want it near me, but it's so cute to watch from a distance. That part. Okay, so I think the other interesting part was, I think there was one of the practice sessions, was it FP1? Oscar, when McLaren was practicing, they practiced their pit stops even like before, like for example, the F1 weekend kicks off. So, and for the newbies, a standard F1 weekend has practice. We start on Friday practice. We have 2 practice sessions, and then on Friday we have a final practice, and then we have qualifying. Qualifying is setting the grid from P1 to 20, and then on Sunday we have the Grand Prix, the race on Sunday. So yeah, on FP1 there was a delay, like a 15 minutes delay for Oscar Piastri to come out of the pits because there was a problem with his rear tire. I think there was something that had not come out or something. That was something that I noted, but I don't think it cost him so much. So yeah, that's all. So, and then did anything else stick out for me? Yeah, practice was not very good on Max Verstappen, especially. He seemed to struggle, to be honest. And for him to actually put together a lap that actually saw him get to P2 in qualifying, that was also slay of him. Very, 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 very slay. And I think, I'm not, while we're here, I know we still haven't gotten into the race Sunday content. I have already talked about Mercedes. Let's talk about Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen has been making the headlines. Max Verstappen on Thursday, Max Verstappen has been given community service. He has been told to go and accomplish some work of public interest, which translates to community service by FIA. And do you know why? Let's roll it back. So, in an exclusive interview, I think this is the genesis of the problem. So in an exclusive interview with Autosport F1, Ben Sulayem, the FIA president, gave an exclusive interview with them. I don't know so he talked about a number of things, and one of the things he talked about was the language and the swearing. And he was like, imagine watching this to be their children, and you're hearing, all the casting that goes around in, F1 that's broadcasted to, the F1 broadcast, during F1 broadcast. So he was like, it's not giving, it's not giving. It's not giving. I don't think he said that, but he said, we are not rappers. That comment had some racial element to it, and that's one of the things that Lewis actually responded to. That's where I'm saying that's the genesis of this same thing, because he was like, we're not like them. We're not like you. We're not like you, Ben. And I do know when I was reading that interview, in fact, I was infuriated. I was so the FIA president. Personally, me, I am reading all the time. I'm like, okay. Apparently, it's in the regulations, of course, the language. It comes to language, the drivers have to follow. But F1 is like, of course, it's a high adrenaline, and it's not like, okay, I've not seen any other sport that mics up all their drivers all the time, like even when they're going through the most. So, and you can hear all their reactions. We get them real time. Like if if you've had a crash, if something unfortunate has happened to you, we always get those reactions firsthand. So anyway, that was the genesis. And he said he wants to start clamping down on that whole, just reduce the casting, the swearing on TV and the broadcast. But then I was like, also, like in the same sense, I was like, sometimes there's so much influence when, like, for example, there's a president or a certain organization. I'm like, but there's so much that, like, maybe their personality might influence, or what their personal beliefs might actually influence, might influence their work in whatever, like, organization they're heading. That is what I was thinking. So after him making those statements about, saying we are not like them, like the rappers, and we all know, like, a lot of the rappers are black people. So that's a racial element you're talking about. And I don't think it's a stretch. I don't think it is. So when he says things like that, and this is the same body that was prosecuting Susie Wolf sometime last year, and Susie had to sue them. I don't even know how the case is going. I'll check on the progress of that case, actually. So, it's giving misogynistic. It's not giving racist. My God, we never catch you a break. Like, Ask me, by the way, like, I don't even know what I'm doing here because, first of all, I'm not even the black they like, spotlights it. I'm from a random town in Kenya, like, that's like this, that, anyway. So that's the genesis of that conversation about the swearing on TV and everything. So Max Verstappen on Thursday during the mid-year conference, like they also give talks to the FIA, to the journalists who are there before before the weekend starts. They ask about what are your expectations, what are you feeling, things like that. And they ask him probably about your previous race and everything. So Max, I think described like his car as fucked. I am not going to do any community service. I'm not doing any work of public interest. I am not. This is already enough work, guys. I'm serving. It's serving. So anyway, he just described the car. So that's why it was so absurd for him to actually be slapped with this penalty of being told you have to serve community service, because he wasn't directing it at someone. It was basically describing the car. So Max Verstappen has been told to go and do some community service for swearing on camera or on FIA grounds. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton has said, don't go. Like, I wouldn't. Lewis, during he was asked about it, was like, I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't. Like, what is this? Like, oh, am I missing something? Like, is this kindergarten or what? Like, as in, of all other things, like, we have so many issues plaguing Formula One. We have bigger issues. We have bigger fish to fry. We don't want them to make political statements. We don't want them to advocate for any issues they have or whatever. Now we are also telling them you cannot. Max is very, sometimes it can get unhinged. And this is what I've been saying in my head. I think the FIA is single-handedly growing the Orange Army. Because why are you making us Max Verstappen fans? You are legit making us Max Verstappen fans, because Max gets very unhinged sometimes, and I love it when he does that. So he was out saying, okay, so it's the same children. Of course, I don't want them to say, of course, no one wants that kids to start saying, the expletives, like the cast words. But eventually they will. That was Max's argument, and that's something I would say as well. Like, it's dating logic. I don't get it. Like, please, this is a high adrenaline sport, and I'm just even getting mad because why? Anyway, that was the genesis of this whole problem. Like, so now I hope everyone understands what's happening. So no, I haven't even finished. So Lewis Hamilton said he wouldn't do the whole thing. Lando also was saying, I mean, it's, all seriousness, come on, like, what are we doing? So Max is diving during post-qualifying show. So they also, which is organized, I think, in affiliation with FIA in that conference. Max is very, like, he's such, I think he has entered this group of drivers. Remember when Lewis Hamilton came into, they banned jewelry on their F1 drivers, and then Lewis Hamilton showed up to the conference with, like, was it 5 watches, over like a myriad of rings and so much jewelry, like so endless necklaces, and he appeared to the FIA conference like that. Is like, that was such a big, I love it. I love a good moment. And this group that Max Verstappen is entering is that Lewis Hamilton with the jewelry. And that day, when Sebastian Vettel came over with boxers over his racing suit, like, I love this kind of petty. It's my favorite. Sign me up. Like, it's my kind of activity. Sign me up. Because so during the conferences, Max Verstappen was answering one answers like yes. So if you want to be more elaboration on the answers the journalists were asking, he said, let's talk outside, like outside the FIA, cordoned off, what is this English I'm speaking? The area where FIA has set aside for journalists to talk with the drivers and everything. And he talked to them outside, very petty. I'm up here for it. I am highly doubt he'll do the community service. He's already served. He has been eating with his responses, with his actions. I'm telling you, the FIA is making us into Max Verstappen fans. I've already talked about it in an episode where I was like, I don't know why I don't dislike him as much as I did before, because he's literally growing on me. I don't know. I'm afraid, but like, I might be a fan. Anyway, yeah, so that is what is happening with Max Verstappen. So now let's jump into the race again. Let's talk about McLaren. McLaren, guys, okay, let's talk up. In fact, I was actually thinking about it. McLaren, they have just been on this trajectory, which is awesome, amazing. Since they brought the upgrades from Austria last year, 2023, Austria, and then going to Silverstone. I still remember that race where Orlando Norris was on a harder compound. He actually had pitted for hard tires and Lewis was on a soft compound. And Lewis was not able to get past Lando Norris in Silverstone. And that was like the beginning of knowing that the McLaren car was going. It was not just a track-specific advantage. It was advantage locked in for McLaren. And they have been on a good trajectory, like up trajectory. Singapore was a dominant drive by Lando Norris, finishing a cool 20.9, almost 21 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. They are dominating. I love it for them. Congratulations, Zach Brown and Andrea Stella as well. Andrea Stella, their team principal, has taken this team from being a midfield to now they are leading the constructors and they might just as well win it because, yes, honestly, they have, I don't know, like, to think about it, like, let's put it into context. Like, think about it this way, guys. And I want to take it easy on Lando. I mean, I don't get the, okay, sometimes I might not like what he says, Lando, but I've listened to him talk about mental health and, everything. And I have an inkling of liking him. Like, I do understand him as well. So, and I also extend grace to him as well. So, Lando, remember, guys, Lando has won his first race this year. Isn't that crazy? He won in Miami the first time this year, and Singapore was that win of the season. And to think about it in the sense of that he's now competing, he's like our candidate for the driver's title. Like we are all wondering what will happen. Like that is very good. Props to him. Say what you'll say about Lando, he's doing a great job. Yes, he's doing a great job. To think about it, like he's won his first race in the same year that he's contesting for a driver's title. I mean, not everyone can be Lewis Hamilton, but Lando is also a driver on his own class. And when things align for him. And today he broke that whole stat of starting on pole. Every time he starts on pole, he loses that pole. He loses before the first turn. He kept the lead today. Props to you, Lando. And you know what? I might just be, if I get the money, I'm gonna buy his merch. The quadrant, he has like that quadrant, his brand. I don't know, it's kind of convincing. The merch, it looks so good. I don't know if I was to, of course, like F1 merch is so expensive, guys. But I would buy that. I would buy Lando's merch. It's so cute, you guys. Like, if you find me in it, yeah, I don't know what tagline Lando fans use, but yes. So Lando dominant drive by him to win Singapore as well and cut Max Verstappen's advantage by 52 points. I thought Lando was going to go for a Grand Slam where he leads every race. He leads every, he wins fastest lap and pole. But the fastest lap, we thought he had it in his bag. And then Daniel Ricciardo did it. I don't want to talk about Daniel Ricciardo yet. He's stewing somewhere. I've kept him. He's cooking somewhere. So that was McLaren's race. McLaren P1 and P3 with Oscar Piastri. Oscar didn't have a very good qualifying, but he had a good fast car. He, drove past Lewis, overtook Lewis. Lewis was overcut by George Russell and Oscar Piastri because of having overcutting means when you have fresh rubber, you can come at this person. So with Lewis Hamilton pitting so early, so that means he didn't have the tire advantage that the people behind him had, Oscar Piastri and people like George Russell. Because of quitting early, he was overcut by those two drivers. And it's sad. Okay, they didn't overtake him on track, but they overcut him through strategy because of pitting after Lewis pitted. I'm not happy with that. Anyway, I don't think I have so much about Oscar because that was a good drive. P3 and Oscar is so funny. He was like, that was a blanking. He made a post about Singapore. He's like, he doesn't want to cast. I don't want to cast. So I think he's looking for alternatives to describe the race. It's so crazy. And Singapore is actually, that's the other thing. Singapore is very unforgiving. It's hot. It is humid as well. So it takes a lot, and drivers can lose up to 3 kgs over the course of the race. In fact, Lewis and Russell were actually excused from post-race conferences, like to go to the media pens and talk to the journalists, because I even saw a clip. I saw this video of George coming out of his car. He was literally staggering, like he was falling down. He looked dehydrated and everything. So they needed to, but the drivers are okay now. But these conditions can really do a number on the driver, seeing as also, Singapore is also the longest race on the calendar, in the sense that it's low speed, it's a low speed, like low average speeds across the whole Grand Prix. And like the race actually, the F1 actually like race high-fi could beat at 2 hours. Like the race, it has a cap of 2 hours. So Singapore Grand Prix dances towards going to that 2-hour limit. So it's actually a long time to be in that car. It's hot. You have a hot car. It's outside. It's humid as well. It must be crazy. And F1 drivers are real F1 drivers are real athletes. Athletes sweat, baby. They are real athletes. Okay, if you know, you know. I know I sound like I'm a mad person, but if you know, you know. Good race by them, actually. So, and they continue. They've also opened up more advantage for their constructors. They're now like, of course, they continue to be ahead. So, and I hope they do get to win. Yeah. So I wanted to. What else? Oh, Red Bull. I think honestly it was damage limitation for Max Verstappen on a weekend that he didn't look very comfortable. But this is Max. Hey, Max is good, but he's on a class of his own as well. He's not a 3 times world champion for nothing. So, for him, if it was a weekend that he wasn't like poised to do very well, for him to go into a P2, he was in no man's land basically during the race. He wasn't racing anyone because Lando took such a big. He was so ahead of him, and Lewis Hamilton, with his weird strategy, with Mercedes's weird strategy. Literally, it was just like another DRS train. It was just weird. It was a weird race. So props to Max. I don't think there was even him pulling average. Talked about his qualifying from Checo Perez as well. He didn't have a very good qualifying. Qualified P13 after Checo had a very good race in Azerbaijan that came undone, 1 lap to go, so it was sad, but good damage, also a good recovery drive for him. And that's what I'm telling you guys, everyone was making amends, everyone was progressing forward, apart from Mercedes, who progressed backwards with Lewis Hamilton, and that's mad. So yeah, P10 for Perez, who was not able to overtake Nico Hülkenberg. So P10, from P13 to P10 you got points, that's fine, And let's talk about Russell as well. Russell started P4 and he had good strategy from Mercedes. That's why I'm looking at them. Weird. He finished P4 anyway, so no up. I don't know. It feels like they didn't want Lewis in the podium. Or maybe they wanted to give George the podium and he didn't get it because Oscar Piastri was fast. Ferrari, yes. Let me talk about Ferrari. I think Ferrari were easily probably the second fastest car, and I'm so sure if they had qualified better, I think Charles Leclerc qualified P9. He had that moment where his time was deleted for track limits. Yeah, he said it was a fault of his own. I felt like there was a bit more to extract from his car, and it's nice to see him I put him in my fantasy league, so I was expecting him to do it better, but it's okay. He came from a P9 to a P5. That's a good. Everyone is progressing forward. Like I'm telling you guys, it's this Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton's strategy. And then, after Sainz crashed in quali and he qualified P10, still for him it was a good week. It was a good Sunday. A good basket of points for Ferrari, coming from P10 to P7. Splendid, just behind Lewis Hamilton, but still, there was a gap between them. But still, good results for them. So slay of Ferrari. Everyone was progressing forward. That's what I'm thinking. And then let's talk about Haas, the other people in the points. Haas, I've talked about Haas changed after, I think everyone thought, now after they fired Gunther Steiner, everything would be going very backwards for them. No, of course, they've gone through their issues when they were, you remember you guys when they were grounded at some Grand Prix, Is it Italy in Monza, they couldn't leave because of their debts they owed Rich Energy. It was just a weird thing. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Haas. Haas, after changing their whole management, like their whole leadership. So they have Ayao Komatsu, their team principal, who's more technical, and then they have another CEO who's in charge of like, the operations and stuff like that. So that, I feel like that's a good model for them. Seeing as Haas is all still the only, individual owned team. It's owned by individuals. So like Mercedes, where, it's like stock and stuff. Do you get, guys? Yes, I hope you do. So it's really good for them. They have scored points the last 3 races. They have scored They scored points in Monza, they scored points in Baku, and they've scored points in Singapore. Like, good for you, Nico, and good for you, Ayao Komatsu, and good for you, Haas, and good for you, Mr. Jin Haas, their owner. And I hope they paid off their debts. K-Mag with Haas. K-Mag was also running a very decent race, but then he brushed the walls. And he got a puncture, unfortunately. Lando actually also had a moment. I was like, you're racing on your own, Lando. Why are you clipping the wall? Because the walls in Singapore are also very close to you. Like, you can, just 1 minute, you're out. Do you remember Russell's race last year? So Russell was he was trying to overtake Lando and overtake Sainz to win, and then he ended up crashing. Yeah, the walls are literally there. So if you have like a misstep, you kiss the wall too hard, you're out, you're taking out. So yeah, there was that DNF because of that puncture with K-Mag. Now let's talk about Williams. It was very unfortunate. Alexander Albon at the beginning of the race was like, oh my God, who dive bombed me? That was Colapinto. No, Colapinto is a good driver. I see no faults. I don't think that beginning move, dive bombing where? Show me. I just thought it was a controlled move. He controlled it to the braking. Like, what do you mean? Where? Show me. I just think Albon, it's just psychological. Albon has not been safe, to be honest. I mean, come on. Like, Logan has not really been, pushing Albon. So for the first time, Albon is really he's having to hustle, to be the lead Williams. And I'm so sad that I cannot believe it. Where is Colapinto going to go after these 6 races in Formula 1? I want him on that grid. I don't know how, but I need him there because he's good. He's a good kid, talented. I don't know, like very good, brave, talented, skills are there, and very confident as well. So Colapinto finished P11. Albon retired due to a cooling issue, which is very unfortunate. P11, and he was already hard on himself. He was like, I have not done enough. Like, that is the drive in this man, guys. Like, we should have put him early on in this car and this is a man who's not, like, he was in F2. He's not, doing a lot really. I think he's not, top of the time shits. No, but here in F1, he's winning. The rookies are back. The rookies are performing. The rookies are the hottest thing now, because this was his first time driving around Singapore. So that's really slay of Franco Colapinto. Like, props to you. I hope your future is bright. I mean, I hope you'll get an opportunity to drive in Formula 1 past this year. So yeah, very, very good. Let's talk about Racing Bulls. I don't think Yuki was in the points as well. I just want to quickly confirm that. Yes, let's see. No, Yuki wasn't in the points. Yuki wasn't in the points. I don't know what the results are. I don't know. I can't see it. Let me just confirm real quick, guys. Anyway, they seem to have a decent race. They even had like team orders. At the time, Yuki was really like frustrated. It was like, I need to get through. Yeah, so this is also a sad day because this is due to contractual issues to contract. Apparently, I think Daniel Ricciardo's contract is lapsing like this weekend or something. So this might possibly be and it's looking like it's his last race in F1. Am I sad? Like, yes, I feel bad for him, but like I wouldn't cry because it's so sad. I mean, he's a 6-time Grand Prix winning driver. He's had a good career. He's well loved by people. He has the sweetest smile, the honey badger. Yeah, let me stop. I do like avocado, but like not reason but I mean, it's the tough world of Formula 1. And I was telling my friend today, actually, like, if Dr. Helmut Marko was still head of this, he was still somehow allowed to be head, because right now I think we don't see him a lot in that paddock. He would already have swapped him kitambo. Like, even Perez would not be there. Like, Red Bull was so very, 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 very quick in firing drivers who don't look like they are performing. So this is possibly Daniel. It was so sad. Oh my God, listening to him giving that interview. I don't know if this is. I think they should have just officially confirmed it. Like it's not very good for his fans, for the fans as well. Like Daniel Ricciardo is really like he's a big deal. He's a big driver in Formula One. It's not like, I don't think it's the best way to say goodbye to him. And he set the fastest lap that took away the point from Lando Norris to help Max Verstappen's title fight. I don't know how fair I think that is. Like, what the hell, you know? Like, now we have Red Bull using focus. And this is the whole hell we're going through into 2021, you know? Like, Red Bull, when Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were fighting, they were using the other junior team. I don't understand this, how one team owns another team so they can use them to just play around with strategy and stuff like that. Anyway, it's not fair, it's not nice, but whatever. So now, statistically, Lando cannot, if Max will win if he finishes second for every other session of the remaining races, and he doesn't, or even though Lando scores the fastest lap and everything, and Max finishes second in the remaining races, Max will still win. So basically, a fastest lap cannot make a difference in the drivers championship, in the fight for the drivers title. So that's how significant it is. How significant it was for Daniel Ricciardo to get that fastest lap, and it was his 17th fastest lap. And I think it's also like, maybe apart from that, maybe it's a great way of him going out, you know, setting the fastest lap of the race. But still, I don't think that's cool B. I don't think it's cool beans. I'm not okay with it. Yeah. So I think did I talk about all drivers, all the teams? Oh. Is Alpine, I really don't know. You didn't stand out to me. I have nothing to say about you guys. Bottas and Joe with their stick Sauber, I legit don't know. Like, they still don't have points. It's hard. Yeah. Haas has climbed up the points because of that with those points that were held P9, I guess, P9 by Nico Hülkenberg. This was also Formula One Academy weekend. There are 7 rounds. They're just 9 rounds of the F1 Academy. They have 9 rounds. They have completed 7. Now it's remaining Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Abu Pulling dominated this weekend, won pole and won both race 1 and race 2. She leads the championship by over, 95 points. She leads Dorian Pan with over 50 points, and Maya Van, the one who's driving the Ferrari liveried car in F1 Academy in PC. That's exciting. I do love F1 Academy. Please always make time next time, and I will try to do like another. I know I promised people on Instagram I'll make another like recap video of the F1 Academy series for this season, what they've been up to. That's pretty much it for me. I want to just quickly say my honey, my bee, and my sting for this weekend. My bee for this weekend, the overall let me start with this. My sting for this weekend. My series when I catch you. Yeah, that whole like shambolic nightmare of our strategy for Lewis Hamilton was definitely my sting. Like, my feelings were hard. I was frustrated. I was mad. In fact, I was furious because why are you doing things like, I want the data? I've said I want the data. I want to see it. My honey for this weekend, the sweetest thing has to be those monitor lizards running. The one with the graphic and F1. I think it was even Ruth Bascom who put I don't know who put that graphic of the different section, section 1, like the fastest lap for that monitor lizard. That has to be my honey of this weekend. Yes. My B, of course, because I want to just dedicate this episode to Daniel Ricciardo as well. I mean, if this was his last race, it's unfortunate. I'm heartbroken for him, but that's Formula One. Right now, F1 is operating on, I don't know, everyone is. It's getting very competitive. Yeah, and I'm so sad for him if he's not, and I hope we'll get another chance to he's given us very good times, very good headliners. Like that one, he said, athletes sweat. so funny. Like, you cannot look at him and not smile. Like, he has the widest smile and the most beautiful smile. So we'll miss his driving as well, his late braking moves. He has very good overtakes over his career. So we'll miss him. Yeah, for sure. And also, okay, now there's a detail I wanted to add about the track. So there was there's a part they added a DRS zone on the track. I think was it turn 14 to 16, a new DRS zone, like around that section, turn 14 to 16. Maybe that, amending or changing that section, or like changing the track. I don't know, there's some part of the track that was changed, amended or something. Maybe that could have contributed to the fact that we didn't have any safety car, because maybe that was a section that a lot of people go off. I just thought I would add it there for people who thought maybe well on a track where there has been 100%, there has been a safety car every race for the last 5 years, where there hasn't been a safety car. But that could be just one of the reasons. Like, that's what I had Ruth Bascom explain it as. Ruth Bascom is an engineer analyst on F1 TV. So that's it from me, guys. It's a whole 4-week break for Formula One. I'm kind of interested. I'm so excited to go on this break. But we're not going on a break. Of course, you'll just get regular content on our pages. Remember to subscribe on our channel here on YouTube. And I'm actually telling you this. I'm not even telling you, but we're going to be doing something exciting. We're going to be doing something exciting. During this break, there will be something exciting happening. So keep it locked, the Wheelspin. Remember to rate us wherever you're listening to this podcast from. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you've not followed us on all our social media platforms at the Wheelspin Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, everywhere. Have a lovely week, weekend, morning, evening. And thank you for keeping me company, and thank you for supporting the Wheelspin Podcast. Bye.